Jim Stevens and Kazoom Productions back with you here in beautiful Nantes, France for the final of men's doubles. There you see the bracket. You see the way the two teams reach the final. It's going to be an American team going up against a team from Great Britain. The crowd is into it. The crowd anticipating a great match, as are we, as we take you down into the finals area once again for a big major final here at the 2011 World Championships. There you see the American team. They're on the right. It'll be Tom YORE in the forward position, Brandon Moreland at goal. Their home table, of course, Tornado. They're coming off a huge semifinal win over Frederic Collignon and David de Hust. And on the left, also playing on the Tornado table as their home table, the great British player Robert ATHA in the forward position and his father, Boris ATHA, at goal. Referees for the match, Yuri Otten, the official, the timer, Bertrand Wagner. One best 3 games out of 5 match to determine who will be the 2011 world champion. It will all be played on the Tornado table. Robert ATHA will put it into play, opening up game number 1. Of course, ATHA coming off a win over Dos Santos and Dos Santos in the battle of the father and son teams, and this is the team that survived. That pass attempt by ATHA off a man drops in against Brandon Moreland. And really that could come down to the difference in this match being Brandon Moreland and Boris ATHA. Of course, Moreland, a man with American titles, a player who has competed on the men's team at the World Cup, now on a couple of occasions, and certainly the more accomplished defender. Tom YORE with that famous stick-up pass that he likes to use, and he'll also, of course, set up the pull shot. Boris really played a great semifinal match against the Dos Santos family. Makes a block here against YORE. One 0 lead early on for the ATHAs. The 2011 Men's Doubles World Championship at stake. YORE able to pick off this one, and Tom will get another opportunity. Tom YORE tried to go again with that long pull shot attempt. Blocked away by Boris. Comes back to Brandon Moreland, and Brandon's going to get you a few from the goalie position. A very good shooter back here. Very streaky shooter. He'll pick them up in 2 or 3 in a row sometimes. Then may not score for 2 or 3 games and then come back with a cluster of goals. YORE loses this one. ATHA picks it up. Robert and Boris ATHA leading 1-0 here in game number 1. Brandon working the near side. He also has a big deep pull kick, has a pass too. That one laid right on the 3-rod of YORE, who couldn't hold on to it. ATHA can't hold on to that pass. And a shot down the middle on goal, and there's YORE to grab the rebound. This will be Tom's 3rd attempt from his 3-rod here in game 1. Boris blocked the first 2. Tom looking at the split. Try to go with that long, and again, ATHA out there. Looks like Boris is simply giving Tom that split pull shot if he wants it. Tom tries to go with a quick push kick here, so it has not been a strong opening so far for Tom YORE. Still just that one lone goal here in this opening game. The pull kick effort by Brandon is blocked up into the air and off the table. Boris ATHA will put it back into play in his goal area. Boris setting it up on a front pin, always dangerous on the Tornado. Tom YORE able to pick up the loose ball here. And Tom can't hold on to the pass. Slow start for both forwards so far. Again, if you're Boris ATHA, you're basically looking to clear the zone to get it up the table. Give your partner, in this case your son, an opportunity. A raucous crowd here in the arena tonight. Really into the match. Tom finds the straight hold to even this first game up at 1 apiece. Tom opened up with longs. Comes with a straight here. And we're tied at 1. I think at this point, Tom can do nothing but splits and straights, and he'll probably have some success against Boris ATHA. Boris overplaying the long pull shot so far in the match. Robert ATHA having some trouble getting possessions. You see Robert expressing his frustration, and then Boris knocks one off the back wall, off a man and the crowd explodes. Very vocal British crowd. As you see that one off the back of Brandon Moreland's man, and it drops in.
Let's play.
2-1 lead for the ATHAs. Shaky beginning so far for both forwards. Tom YORE with just the one score so far, and Robert ATHA, I don't know that he's even had a possession as of yet on his 3-rod. Tom's going to set it up. And again, finds the straight. Looks like Boris might have come back a little far. Tom's going to take a closer look. Watch here. That was sort of a little pull angle. I'm not sure that's what Tom meant to do. Either way, it results in a goal, and it's 2-2. And the ball stolen away here by YORE. Robert ATHA still looking for his first possession on the 3-rod, and this is Tom's 6th or 7th shot already, and he takes advantage as he strokes that one, I believe, down the middle. It's 3-2, and I think Brandon Moreland said to him, "That's the hole, Tom." No, it went long. That's the hole on this occasion.
Let's play.
3-2 lead. Robert ATHA still without a possession. Brandon Moreland. Tom YORE able to dig it out. You have to think the Americans are at least the slight favorites in this match. And they have come out here to take a 3-2 lead, but Boris with the block. Tom YORE has yet to shoot a split pole shot, even though it looks like that hole is there. And we're going to get a timeout here as Boris gains possession and steps away. Watch here as YORE kind of angled that one in. I think he was trying to go straight. It has not been a real pretty performance so far from either of the big stars in the forward position. Shot down the middle. Grabbed here by ATHA, who will get it along that near wall, and Robert will set it up in snake shot position, looking to even it up. Robert ATHA fires it down the middle. It's 3-3, and the crowd explodes. You see it there as he walked it and found it. Tom YORE will get another possession. Tom will look for the lead. YORE strokes it home. It's 4-3, and Tom YORE's starting to heat up, and the dangerous thing for the British is he's also starting to get possessions. This one, he does cut back between. 4-3 lead for Tom YORE and Brandon Moreland here in game number 1. Robert ATHA can tie it. But first, a timeout. So despite the fact that Tom YORE has out-possessioned Robert ATHA so far, I believe Tom has had 8 possessions on his 3-rod. Robert ATHA now with just his 2nd. Despite all that, Robert ATHA has an opportunity here to even this first game up
15
at 4 apiece.
Five seconds. Okay, let's play. Second timeout. Let's play. Ready?
Robert ATHA will put the ball back into play. Tried to stroke it to that far side. Moreland with a block. Rob will get another opportunity here. ATHA. Strokes it home. It's 4-4. Watch here as Robert ATHA, always so quick and so strong to the corners, finds the near side to tie this first game up at 4. This would be a big game for the British pair to win, no question about that. But Tom YORE is going to get the first opportunity at least to put away game number 1 as he sets it up, goes with a quick straight. Tom YORE and Brandon Moreland come out to win the opening game of this men's doubles final. We'll come to game number 2 with the Americans leading 1-0. And again, it will be played on the tornado table as every game this match will be. Tom YORE finding the straight hole for the second time in that opening game.
Okay, ready? Let's play.
Here we go. Second game underway. Robert ATHA puts it into play, quickly advances it, sets it up. Quick shot attempt blocked by Robert ATHA. Brandon Moreland, of course, making that block, and now Brandon has possession of the ball. Picked off here by Boris. Boris tries to send it up the table, taken away by Tom YORE. Tom's shot attempt taken right back by Boris. No score. Game number 2. 1-0 lead for the Americans. Tom YORE and Brandon Moreland. The British pair of Robert and Boris ATHA trying to fight back here. And that one knocked into the goal. It's 1-0. Good hustle play here. Robert ATHA attempting to pass. Tom YORE stabbing it into the corner.
Let's play. Ready? Ready.
That one off a man and in for Boris, and the British crowd explodes. The British contingent having a lot of fun. In fact, I think they're winning over a few other fans as Boris knocks that one cleanly off of the outside wall and in. And stroking it home here is Tom YORE to answer. And YORE has really shot the ball well the last few possessions after somewhat of a slow start. This one all the way out to that long hole as Boris ATHA now having to look inside. Tom pecked away at the straight and the middle. And now Tom going back to the long.
He's set.
Robert ATHA, based on the fact that he is getting out-passed, out-possessioned, really needs to score almost every time he gets the ball in that 3-rod at this point. As Tom YORE's shooting percentage continuing to go up, although Boris with a big block here. Two-one lead here in the second game for Tom YORE and Brandon Moreland. They lead 1-0. It seems that they're in control. Certainly the time of possession favors the Americans, and Tom YORE is going to get another possession here. But Boris is going to get another block. Unfortunately for Boris ATHA, it rolls back to Tom YORE, who fakes and calls timeout. Look at that ball bouncing and bouncing, and eventually held on to by Boris. The American crowd getting into it.
Let's play.
Tom YORE will step back to the table and put the ball back into play. From pull shot position, Tom YORE strokes home the long, probably the best shot of the match for YORE. Speed and power exploding deep to that near corner. 3-1 lead now for Tom YORE and Brandon Moreland. Robert's going to get a possession here, and again, he needs to score the ball, and he does with a quick set near side. Didn't waste time getting into that snake shot grip, if you will. He got it and immediately went with a standard front pin near corner. It's 3-2. Robert ATHA has watched his father, Boris, do a pretty good job against Tom YORE. Tom's shooting percentage probably in the 40 to 50% range so far, and that should be good enough, you would think, if Robert was getting more possessions, as Tom gets another possession and quickly takes advantage and quickly gives his team a 4-2 lead, as they once again are up by 2 here in game number 2. But the difference so far has been the 5. It has been the number of possessions that Tom YORE has had in comparison to Robert ATHA. And it's been significant. And Tom's going to get another one here, and he's got a chance to close out game number 2. Tom YORE will shoot against Boris ATHA and look for a 2-0 lead. YORE tried to come down in the middle, blocked up into the air, and off the table.
Ready? Let's play.
Boris ATHA with a big block there. And Boris will put it back into play. Brandon Moreland. We have yet to see Brandon score offensively, but it is certainly something he is fully capable of, and I wouldn't doubt that we'll see at least one goal in this match from Brandon and possibly more. Moreland, pull shot blocked by the 5 of ATHA, although Robert ATHA, of course, a very good defensive forward. Brandon sends that one up the table to the near side. Rebound picked up here by Robert ATHA. ATHA has it intercepted by YORE, who continues to win the battle of the 5. The other thing that Tom has done very well in this match is pick up the loose balls. He's going to get another one here. And stroke it home. So Tom YORE and Brandon Moreland have come out to claim the first 2 games of this men's doubles final, as Tom YORE finds that split pull shot down the middle. The Americans won the opening game 5-4, came back to win game number 2 5-2, and they are in control as they look for their first doubles championship together. Remember, last year the Americans also claimed the men's doubles title with Dave Gummison and Tracy McMillan winning.
Hold on for a bit.
Frederick Collignon, so accustomed to winning, has not won the doubles title at the last 2 World Championships.
Please wait. Okay, let's play.
Jim Stevens and Kazoom Productions happy to be here to bring you all the excitement of table soccer from Nantes, France, here in the year 2011. And ATHA comes out to get a possession, opening things up here. Trailing 2-0, Robert ATHA will set up the snake shot. Take his time and then stroke it home. That's a good opening possession for Robert ATHA. And for the first time in the match, we're going to see the switch. Robert really took his time beautifully. And when he does, he's successful.
Let's play. Ready? Yeah.
So Robert has moved to goal. Boris defending against the 5 of Tom YORE, who gently brushes it through the lane. And Tom will set it up against Robert. Tom YORE looking to tie this 3rd game up. Try to come down the middle in almost a dead race there by Robert ATHA, who is a very, very quick defender when he wants to be. Also a very good shooter back here, although YORE able to steal it. Tom YORE seemingly living with the ball on his 3-rod throughout the match. YORE Strokes it home. That one might have hit off a man and then gone between. We'll see if we can get another look at that to see exactly where that ball went. Tom brings it across. Off the man in between, as we suggested. It's 1-1 here in game number 3. Back to the forward position comes Robert ATHA. And again, Robert needs to convert on just about every possession at this point, as he sets up the snake. Tried to come near side. Brandon is there to make the block up into the air and off the table. Robert ATHA will chase it down. Give it to Brandon, who has earned the right to put it back into play. It is 2-0 in favor of the Americans. Tom YORE and Brandon Moreland, as an American team looks to win the men's doubles championship for the second year in a row. Boris, and picked up here by ATHA. That little hesitation runner pass. Robert strokes it home. It's 2-1. And again, ATHA to goal. ATHA to forward. Boris, that is, as again finding a very tight near side of the goal. For Robert ATHA able to convert to give his team the lead at 2-1. This match, of course, being played entirely on the Tornado table. I think when Robert ATHA, who is a very good multi-table player, can play high-end foosball on just about every table. When they selected the Tornado, as Boris steals it here, and we're going to get a timeout to bring Robert back to forward. While when the ATHA selected this table, they anticipated they would be the favorites on this table in most of the matches. They would be stronger than their opponents, but they knew if they ran into an American team, that may not be the case, but this is the first time they have run into a Tornado team, an American team, and they're in the finals. So I think they made a good decision, and now it's just a matter of putting it together and trying to come back from a 2-0 deficit in games against that American team. Robert ATHA returning to forward, puts it into play. He and his father Boris leading 2-1 here in the third game. And Robert's going to get another possession here. Robert tap middle attempt, sprayed wide of the goal. Rebound grabbed by Brandon. Brandon Moreland from Dallas, Texas. Tom YORE from Tampa, Florida. The ATHAs from Northern England, from Manchester. Bounce pass here by Robert. Quick shot attempt blocked up into the air and off the table. Nice play by Brandon Moreland. Watch this. ATHA tried to come near side, and Brandon was there, skying the ball off the table. Moreland sets up the pull shot, tried to go down the middle with a pull kick. ATHA was there to block it and steal it, and find the hole, I believe, down the middle here. So the British pair of Robert and Boris ATHA have come back here in game number 3 with a strong performance. They lead 3-1 thanks to efforts like that from Robert ATHA. And we've got a timeout. Crowd really into it. You got to love these crowds here in Nantes. Knowledgeable, enthusiastic, always rooting on their home countrymen. There is nothing better than the environment here in Nantes if you're a table soccer person. As Tom YORE puts it into play, and will look to cut the lead to 1, shooting against Robert. And he again gets it through. That's 2 of those where Tom has just sort of hoped. And the crowd booing Tom in a good-natured fashion, of course. Same thing, same attempt off the man, and it identical to the opening score by YORE and Moreland, and it's now 3-2. Tom YORE able to take it away here. Quick wall pass taken right back by Robert. ATHA has begun to get possessions, and that's dangerous for the Americans. He has begun to turn it around on the 5. However, that's 3 in a row now that Brandon Moreland has turned around against Robert. You just get the feeling that Brandon Moreland's due to score. Comes back down the middle with a push kick attempt. Picked up here by Boris. That ball's going to roll to a stop. For those of you who know the tornado table very well, you'll notice that there is only one man on that goalie rod. Usually, of course, there are three. One of the things that has made tornado a different kind of table over the years. The surface is completely flat on a tornado table, generally. And you use those men to dig it out. Oh, tough break there for Boris as he tried to grab it and spun it right back into his own goal. A lot going on in that little flurry of activity, culminated by Boris ATHA trying to grab it with a pin and spinning it in.
Let's play.
Ready.
3-3 now after two in a row for from the Americans. Tom YORE takes it away here. And he'll call timeout.
Timeout.
Crowd having a great time watching this men's doubles championship match. Again, we're going to see the switch.
Just a second.
Boris to forward, Robert to goal. Tom YORE with possession on his 5-rod will put it into play. The Americans were down 3-1. A couple of fortunate breaks, really, for them. In fact, all three of their scores could be termed as fortunate. Tom YORE will shoot against Robert ATHA and look to move his team within one of the championship as he sets up the pull shot and strokes it home. Nothing lucky about this one as Tom YORE gets it, sets it up, and drills it. Championship point for YORE and Moreland.
Ready.
Obviously, the British pair must have this one. Robert able to brush this one through. He'll set it up looking to tie it up at 4 here in game 3. But Brandon, who has really done a great job defensively down the stretch here, blocks it and takes it away. Sends that one up towards the opposite end. Boris able to pick up the rebound. Boris off that front pin, intercepted by Tom YORE. The Americans leading 4-3, leading 2-0, and Tom YORE can win the championship right here as he brings it across and sets up the pull shot. Tom YORE tried to go with a straight wide of the goal, and British crowd applauding the fact that that did not go in. And a shot down the middle towards the goal by Boris. Rebound grab by Brandon Moreland. Again, ATHA up the table, picked up by Robert ATHA. Robert can't connect. Not been a typical Robert ATHA performance. There have been flashes of greatness, certainly, because Robert really is a great tornado player. But it has not been a real consistent performance from Robert. Brandon sends that one to the short corner. Boris will put it back into play after it rolled to a dead stop. Remains 4-3. Again, Boris towards the goal, and Brandon Moreland so quick at capturing the ball in his goal area. Brandon fires that pull kick just wide. Rebound caroms to the 5 of Robert, who puts one on goal. Brandon keeps it out. Quick clearing effort by Moreland. Tom YORE leans over, says something to his partner, who will put it back into play. Tom might have told Brandon just to try to clear it, just brush it up the table, give him a chance to grab it. Tom feels like he can get a possession and put it away. ATHA hoping to get a possession here, but first, the timeout on the 5-rod. Tom YORE and Brandon Moreland still leading 4-3 here in the third game. They also lead 2-0. You hear both sides cheering on their teams. Normally, the USA and Great Britain are great friends, and that is also true for foosball players. In this case, however, it's a rivalry, And ATHA able to put it back into play and pass it through. Looking to even it up at 4 here in game 3. Robert ATHA. Go! Set home. Big shot here from Robert, who set it up. Didn't take a lot of time. And then found the hole down the middle. That's about all Brandon was going to give him, and it's 4-4.
Ready?
The Americans get this ball. They're the champs. If the British get it, we head to a 4th game. Tom YORE, who won that opening game at 4-4 by passing and scoring. A couple of passes here and a nice save by Boris. Boris off the front pin. Not something you would usually suggest that a player does from goal on a tornado table. Not a lot of options off that pin. Fairly easy. You see some of the crowd on the edge of their seat asking Boris not to do that, and a great save by Brandon Moreland.
Okay, let's play.
So quick.
Ready? Yeah.
Moreland putting it back into play. It remains championship point for the Americans. Brandon, who has not scored in the match, which is unusual. That one off a man and in. The Americans, Tom YORE and Brandon Moreland, have won the 2011 Men's Doubles World Championship. Great performance by those two as they defeated Robert and Boris ATHA in the final after defeating Frederick Collignon and Davide Hust in the semifinals. There you see it. Tom YORE, Brandon Moreland win 5-4, 5-2, and 5-4 to claim a 2nd consecutive World Championship for an American team, and the first ever for YORE and Moreland.